Well, at this point, I think we can all agree the Lakers are a pretty deep team. In fact, I think they're way deeper than any of us could have imagined. I mean, once again last night, playing without no Luka Doncic, no Austin Reeves, no LeBron, and he hasn't played even one time yet this season, and they somehow found a way to pull out a win. Not to mention against a tough defensive-minded Portland team on their own home court. And yet, they found a way to win, having 4 different guys in double figures, including Rui Hachimura with 28 points, DeAndre Ayton with 29 points, Jake LaRavia with 11 points, and Nick Smith Jr., a 2-way contract for their team, coming off the bench to drop 25 points. And not only that, but they currently have 6 guys that are averaging double figures in the entire season, including Nick Smith with 11.3 points per game, Jake LaRavia with 12.5 points per game, DeAndre Ayton with nearly 17 points per game, same thing with Hachimura, nearly 17 points per game, Reeves averaging 31 points per game, and Luka Doncic putting up an astronomical 41.3 points per game. So again, depth all across the board here offensively, not to mention their defensive depth. No, they might not be the best overall defensive team, but their current bench unit is the best bench unit defensively in the entire NBA, having the best defensive rating. And again, no matter where you look and no matter who you point to, they have a lot more depth than many gave them credit for. You know, many fans even claimed that they had no help to give Luka Doncic or LeBron entering this season, that Austin Reeves wasn't a legit third option, that they should trade him so they could get some depth, that DeAndre Ayton wasn't a good addition for them, that Marcus Smart was washed up and wouldn't help their team, not even on defense, that Jake LaRavia was in fact a nobody, like many fans claim and like the Minneapolis crowd claimed, even that Anthony Edwards did not know who he was, and simply a lot of narratives have been proven wrong, or are definitely in the process of being proven wrong. And yes, we're only 8 games in so far. The Lakers having a 6-2 record, very impressive, but again only 8 games in, only 8 through an 82 game NBA season. So there definitely is time for things to go in the reverse order. Maybe their depth does come back down to earth, or maybe is in fact not as good as many think. But in my opinion, from the early signs that they've shown, from the way they played both with and without Luka Doncic, without even Austin Reeves, and not to mention LeBron on the court, I think it's very telling about them, and all but confirms that they do have a deep team, a whole lot deeper than many thought too. So with that in mind here, where have they found this depth? Has it always been there, or did they make a change to bring it out of some players and get more from them than many thought they could offer their team? Or how exactly has this come to be? We're going to talk about that, what they have showed so far, the standouts, and break down the numbers and the eye test so far. And well, without further ado here, I think we kind of begin by talking about simply last night, who stood out from that game and how they were so impressive and how JJ Redick got that from them. Well, if we're going to talk about this game, then I think we gotta begin by talking about Nick Smith Jr. You know, I talked about him a little bit last night in my post-game video, but I think we gotta go a little bit more in depth here. And I really wish I could say he did something crazy or that Redick drew up some crazy scheme to put him in, but it simply came down to them not being able to get the ball over half court, Portland's defensive pressure, and the pressure that they were applying on their current ball handlers without Luka or Austin available. That's why they had to turn to Nick Smith. Probably the best ball handler on their team after them, and even one of the best in their team in general. A guy that's very crafty and very quick on the court. That's pretty much why Redick turned to him, and he greatly outperformed the expectations that Redick had for him, or pretty much any of us had for him too. Nick Smith came out and kind of began by playing the role of a facilitator, simply bringing the ball up the court and initiating their offense, but soon thereafter, and after he got a bit more comfortable, getting confident enough to look for himself and self-create a bit, then he really took off after that point, really showing off his ability to get to wherever he wants to on the court, and pretty much whenever he wanted to as well. Using his crafty ball handling ability, his shifty side-to-side movement, and deceptive screen navigation offensively, he more than took advantage of it, and it definitely helped their offense out too. Nick Smith, like I said, ending with 25 points, but even more impressive was the efficiency, shooting 10 of 15 from the field, 67%, 5 of 6 from the 3-point line, 83.3%, and if you watch the game, it really was impressive how he got those shots too. Like I said, using the screens to his advantage on the court, using deceptive movement to navigate them well and freeing himself up, either from behind the 3-point line again, using that more than well, knocking down 5 3-point shots, 5 of their 9 3-point shots made last night, or getting to the mid-range area for a pull-up shot or a floater. He was very good at that last night and one of the few guys who could self-create for himself. And again, keep in mind we're talking about a 2-way contract player here. not a guy that's under a guaranteed 15-man roster spot, simply a two-way contract for their team. And yet, he found a way to step up and really help them get a win that not many thought they could win. So definitely impressive for Nick Smith. I think whenever Austin, Luka, Gabe, LeBron, or any of them, any combination of them is out, he definitely will get more opportunity going forward too. In fact, he might even be in contention for that 15th spot on their team when they can eventually sign that player to a guaranteed contract. So that's definitely one part of it. You know, we haven't seen much of Nick Smith apart from this game, but he definitely gave me more confidence in him, and very likely the coaching staff too. So again, one part of it, but definitely not the entirety of it. Not only for their game last night, but for the entire season, talking about guys like Marcus Smart, for example. You know, offensively it may come and go with him. Last night he didn't really stand out. Only 9 points on 3 of 11 from the field, 1 of 5 from beyond the arc, 5 assists, 5 turnovers go with it, so not exactly great offensively. But if you watch the game and watch the way he played defense and led their team on the court, it was more than impressive and definitely was a big part of their win. Defensively, definitely led their defense and continued to motivate them throughout the entire game. I mean, they really beat Portland at their own game last night. Portland, a very defensive-minded team, a team that likes to wreak havoc, and we directly did see it. During the first half, they definitely won that battle, causing the Lakers to commit 12 turnovers in the first half alone. But throughout the game, the Lakers really picked up on that, using that to their advantage, bothering them in the half court and not letting them initiate their offense or get set up, largely in part due to Marcus Smart, due to Smart, Jake Arabia, their bench unit too. Like I said, they have the best defensive rated bench unit in the entire NBA. And I think a big part of that does come from Marcus Smart and his leadership on the court too. I mean, whether or not he comes off the bench for them or is a part of their starting lineup, he directly leads that group and really motivates them to play defense. So in my opinion, a lot of their defensive success and their ability to be a better defense than they were at large times throughout last season does come down to Marcus Smart and his vocalness and leadership on the court. But it's definitely not only him, and you know, talking about the way they got Marcus Smart, not only got Marcus Smart but also got DeAndre Ayton and Jake Arabia, was from letting Dorian Finney-Smith go. A guy that I thought was very good for their team, but they pretty much split his contract into 3 different contracts: Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, and Jake Arabia, all 3 of which have been absolutely great for the Lakers and a big part of this depth that we're talking about. So apart from Marcus Smart, then talking about DeAndre Ayton, I mean, the guy's currently averaging 17 points per game for their team, and that's been playing without Luka Doncic for the most part, only playing 2 or I guess kind of 2.5 games with him up until this point, even 1 game last night without Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. So I think that's very impressive and very telling about what Ayton can and has been able to offer their team, dropping a team high 29 points last night, showing that he can step up and be a 2 or even number 1 option for them when they really need it, looking very confident in the low post, not hesitating, not bobbling the ball, not waiting too long to put up a shot, actually being very deliberate and showing that he can be very effective for them, whether you're talking about the low post, definitely in the mid-range area, looking absolutely automatic with that mid-range shot and kind of floater game to go with it. And even more impressive to go along with all of that is the defense that he's committing to as well. So that's another big part of their depth. DeAndre Ayton's been great, both offensively and actually very impressive defensively too. Then the final part of that kind of 3-part committee that they signed via losing Dorian Finney-Smith, Jake Arabia. No, his 24th birthday might have not been perfect offensively, but was actually still pretty good in my opinion, dropping 11 points on 5 of 10 from the field, 0 of 3 from beyond the arc last night. But on the season overall, not only with the 27-point game against the T-Wolves, the 25-point game the other night against Miami, but on the entire thing, averaging 12.5 points per game on a very efficient 58% from the field, 44.4% from 3, and playing some great defense and providing some great defensive playmaking to go with it, averaging 1.6 steals per game, playing some good disciplined defense to go with it, often taking on some tough matchups for them, whether he's coming off the bench or as part of the starting lineup. He's been very good on both ends of the court and has been proving a lot of value to their team a lot quicker than many thought. In fact, there are many people that had no idea who he was. Not only Anthony Edwards and the viral clip that came with that, but many fans and Laker fans that didn't know who he was either. And again, I love Dorian Finney-Smith and what he did offer their team, and I hated to lose him, but I don't think it's an argument at this point that he would have offered more himself than the combination of Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, and Jake Arabia are currently offering their team right now. So in my opinion, between the three of them and the legitimate two-way performance they have given their team, the two-way value they have offered them, something of which they had very little of last season, pretty much nothing outside of Dorian Finney-Smith, at least in regard to their role players, I think it's been tremendous value and really invaluable to their depth. But even apart from those three, or even Nick Smith Jr., who I talked about before, can't forget to mention guys like Rui Hachimura, who has been great for their team and quietly has put up 17 points per game, has been their second option, third option, fourth option, doesn't matter, he's filled that role and has been very efficient in that role too. Currently being the most efficient wing player on their team, shooting 59.3% from the field. In fact, he has yet to shoot under 50% in any game so far this season, playing in all 8 games for them so far, remaining very durable, remaining effective for them on offense, and even playing some decent defense in them too, shooting 45.5% from the 3-point line, maintaining that efficiency from not only last season, but even dating back 2 years now, is one of their best 3-point shooters at this point, is one of their most reliable offensive players in general, probably one of, if not the most reliable role player on offense in general, and has really become a figment to their entire rotation. And well, talking about 5 different role players that have been great for their depth, again with Rui Hachimura, DeAndre Ayton, Jake LaRavia, Marcus Smart, and Nick Smith Jr., that would be pretty good for any team. Talking about 4 to 5 players that have been very good for them, not only in one game but multiple games, really talking about Rui Hachimura, Ayton, LaRavia, and Marcus Smart for that. But even apart from them, talking about Jared Vanderbilt, Jackson Hayes, and heck, even a little bit of Dalton Connect and Bronny James off the bench, that's a lot of value that they have been getting, that I don't think anyone expected, at least not to that amount. Yes, many including myself thought that probably 2 or 3 or maybe 4 of them would pan out, that they would play above expectations and give them consistent value off the bench, or even in their starting lineup like Rui Hachimura. But talking about 5 to 7 different role players that would offer this amount of value, both offensively and or defensively, is a little bit insane in my opinion. I mean, pretty much their entire rotation has played well, has given them value off the bench or in the starting lineup. Their role players are playing way above expectations, playing well with Luka Doncic, without him on the court, LeBron yet to play a game again. No matter who's on the court and who's available for their team, they're bringing it on every single night, really on both ends of the court. And well, if you can't accept that, even after their win last night, beating Portland on their own home court, beating a defensive-minded team like Portland, playing without 70% plus of their payroll, and still finding a way to win, I don't know what to tell you at that point. I think they have a very deep team, much deeper than many thought and many gave them credit for. And yes, they do in fact have help to give Luka Doncic, LeBron James, and even Austin Reeves too. So with all of that being said, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the Lakers' depth at this point? Have you been proven wrong about them? Who has impressed you the most? And do you think they can maintain this or even come close to it going forward? Or maybe not? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. But I think that'll pretty much do it for this one. And if you enjoyed the video, then I'll greatly appreciate it if you dropped a like, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and hit that notification bell to never miss out when I upload a video. But as always, thank you for watching, and have a great day or night.